Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Ben Fisk for the Darkfall Protocol. Now, in order to celebrate October, arguably the spookiest month of the year with February in a close second, today we're going to get a little bit traumatic. Childhood Trauma is a series of videos that was started by Your Movie Sucks and has since been participated in by pretty much all of my favorite YouTubers.
This is where we do it, we the kings and we ain't playing.
The basic goal behind Childhood Trauma itself is to go back and re-examine certain episodes of children's TV shows or anything that was supposed to be lighthearted and fun that had an absolutely horrific, nightmare-inducing scene that kind of just comes out of nowhere. I've wanted to do a video like this for quite some time, not only because all of my favorite YouTubers were partaking,
If you ain't got it, you ain't nothing.
but because this particular subject is pretty much paramount for someone like me. All of my fears, everything that have created my outlook on the world, everything that makes me who I am, can all be traced back to a single, monumentally disturbing episode of a children's TV show that made me afraid of the dark for 6 years and has forged me into the horror writer that I am today.
What's the story, Wishbone?
Wishbone was a show that ran from 1995 to 1998 on PBS Kids. It was a wholesome half-hour that followed the titular Jack Russell Terrier, Wishbone, a dog who can enter the world of books. The episodes feature an A story and a B story, one involving the retelling of a literary classic, and the other focusing on Wishbone's family.
How's it going?
I can't find the right jawbone.
The family's plotline will inevitably come to resemble the progression of the written work, and culminates with their struggles not to repeat the failures of their literary counterparts.
Now, of course, as a writer myself, I feel personally indebted to Wishbone for instilling a love of... Alright, that's fair. I asked my associate to hit me with the humble box anytime my ego becomes unmanageable.
The show was praised for refusing to water down the more bleak and tragic elements of the stories it told, and won 4 daytime Emmys throughout its 50-episode run.
No! All of my work, all of my research for this thing!
Basically, it is very clearly intended for grade school kids, and based off of the clips I've shown so far, it probably looks like it's pretty consistently for that demographic, right? Buckle up, because we're about to get into Bark to the Future.
Why's everybody always picking on me?
Bark to the Future is Wishbone's take on H.G. Wells' classic story, The Time Machine. Like every other episode, the show is faithful to the source material, with only the small change of making the main character a talking dog. The episode begins as Wishbone, as the nameless time traveler, argues with his snooty contemporaries about the possibility of time travel.
Scientific people know very well that time is only a kind of space. I can move forward, I can move backward.
You can move about in all directions of space, but you cannot move about in time.
The bourgeoisie boast fest soon comes to a close, and immediately after showing his guests the door, Wishbone reveals that he already has a fully functioning time machine.
Clearly, they have not seen my time machine.
Wishbone activates the time machine and blasts off into the future. He comes to rest in the year
802701.
After remarking on the revival of the Mayan death cult architectural movement, Wishbone is greeted by Smurfette's rave crew.
I was just telling these people where I come from. Thank you very much, but I imagine you'd like to know who I am?
Wishbone befriends one of the cotton candy flapper dancers named Weena.
Weena, how can you laugh?
She tells him that while war and disease have been erased, the world has fallen to ruin and the people have become indolent.
What does indolent mean?
Indolent means lazy, Amanda. Now I'm sure at this point you're wondering, Ben, what exactly about this episode is so terrifying? What could have possibly messed you up for life like you so claim? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've only met half the population of the future, and we are about to take a look at the dark side, as Wishbone returns to find that the time machine has been stolen.
There's someone in there with my machine. Weena, what's wrong?
Morlocks!
Morlocks?
That's right, Morlocks, a subterranean race of nightmare men that have evolved in a world without sunlight. Now they emerge only during the nighttime in order to feast on those who call the surface their home.
Now you think that's bad? Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting started.
Wishbone and Weena head to the Porcelain Palace, which turns out to be a museum of the ancient world. Wishbone hopes to find tools in order to retrieve the time machine, but instead, he finds nightmares trying to kill him.
There's nothing to be afraid of, Weena.
Except Morlocks. Be very afraid of Morlocks.
What's happened to the Morlocks?
This encounter teaches Wishbone that Morlocks have dark vision and are dazzled upon entry into direct sunlight. Wishbone thus uses his advanced technological knowledge to make a single torch, and that is the entire extent of his plan.
With the light of a torch to protect them, the time traveler and Weena race through the night to recover the time machine.
You had one job, bitch. One job.
Rise, sun! Rise! We need light!
So now we get to what I think was the clinching moment that absolutely cemented this as my biggest fear of my childhood. You're sprinting as fast as you can. You can hear the screams echoing down the corridor. Your heart is palpitating in your chest as in the shadows you begin to see a figure emerging. Long taloned fingers are seen, red eyes. They come glaring at you out of the shadows. It comes sprinting towards you, and suddenly you're not even sure if you're going to survive, if you're going to make it to the time machine before everything comes. Son of a bitch. I knew something like this was gonna happen.
You couldn't warn me about this? What the f is happening?
Well, technically, I don't actually know what's happening, so what was I supposed to warn you about, Alex?
I guess that's fair. Ben, what the hell have you gotten me into?
Tell me if this tracks, because this is all hypothetical. But supposing that my fear took a physical form, it manifested itself. It took all of the qualities that I was so scared of from the Morlocks, and it created this entity that represents the negative side of myself, everything that I see that I'm terrified of. Now, that wouldn't make much sense except for my impeccable ability to break the fourth wall as a writer, which allows me to engage with and criticize tropes of if you throw the humble box at me again, look, man, to be completely honest with you, I don't know exactly what's going on here. I had a feeling that something like this was going to happen because when you confront your fears, you really gotta look them in the eye. I mean, I'm holding a shotgun, so clearly this is not going to be a talk it out kind of scenario.
You never know.
So then I suppose the question is, what exactly are we here to kill? Alex, go ahead and turn the light off.
Why?
Because it hates light, and I'm not sure if we hate it. I want you to understand that I don't hate you. There was a long time when I did. I saw you as my defeat, as everything I wasn't strong enough to overcome, as my weakness. And in many ways, you were. But the reason that I don't hate you is because I overcame you. I beat you fair and square. I learned not to be afraid of the dark. And it was that fear and that strength of overcoming that fear that made me who I am as much as anything else. So if you just walk away, you can be a part of me, I can be a part of you, we can just leave it. But if you take another step, I'll show you why you should be afraid of me. God, he didn't buy a shoot to kill!
Are you alright, dude?
Oh, technically, if it still hurts, it's still attached, right?
Alright, so this is real.
Yep, this is real.
How do we get out of this?
Well, fortunately, this is actually pretty close to what I had been assuming was going to happen, believe it or not. So I actually have a nuclear option for this scenario. That's the good news. The bad news is it's out in the shed.
Okay. Why are you turning the music on?
Because it's only a horror movie. let it be a horror movie. Real quick. What the
It literally just grabbed my leg.
Are you
What?
okay?
I mean, I guess I'm okay. I don't know if it's got any weird diseases on it or anything, but okay.
It's really cold, isn't it? It's way colder than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus Christ!
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, you shot it, so, top marks. Get it? Marksman. I think all of this qualifies as a jump scare.
Are you alright, dude?
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to stop asking me that.
Good thing the humble box was there.
That's the first time in my life I'm glad to see that thing. Alright. All we have to do is make it to the shed, and everything's gonna be okay. Okay? That is actually good. Good drop.
Oh, thanks.
You would have lost your head. I'm just not sure if it was from me or from it. Alright, we have to keep moving, dude. We are almost there. Come on. You see it?
I don't see him. He's not behind us right now. Oh, get down.
Maybe a little warning next time?
I say get down.
Alright.
What?
Just come in here. Just get in here quick. Alright, turn off the light. Trust me. Turn off the light. Sunrise, we need light!
Is it dead?
Hope so. I mean, I confronted my first fear face to face, and I shot it with a shotgun. So if it's not dead, I'm not entirely sure what else we can do to it at this point.
I guess that's fair.
Oh, that wasn't that bad.
Not that bad.
That was not that
bad.
I mean, there
Really?
were definitely some parts where maybe I lost control a little bit. I'd like to point out that I anticipated all of this was going to happen. I knew how to use its weak points, and I was able to defeat literally my worst nightmares. I just feel like, I deserve a little bit. So what can we take away from today, ladies and gentlemen? Well, fear can be an interesting tool. Sometimes it can weigh you down, it can paralyze you, it can make you have indecision, but other times it can motivate you. It can give you a rush of adrenaline. It can force you to do things that you didn't think were possible. We're all afraid of various things, whether it's something from our childhood or something from yesterday, whether it's a horrifying apparition or the mean old landlady. But all of us have fear that we have to deal with. Now, you can run from your fear. You can hide from your fear. But until you've defeated your fear, you will never truly be free of it. This is Ben Fisk for the Darkfall Protocol. Signing off.
Perfect in every way, never seen anything. Nothing more to say, it's in its DNA.